doing some collecting at the Gibson occurrence, aka Titanite Hill, in late August. It's actually pretty chilly, but we've had a cold spell the last couple weeks, so it's a nice welcome change from the heat. You can still see the forest here is dry as all can be, but just through the trees over there, it's where the main diggings are. I've got a friend from out west with me, so we're gonna poke around for the day in the area and do some collecting. Let's see what we can find.
Watch it.
No, it's good. Greg found his first little titanite of the day back at the old stomping grounds for me. I've been collecting in this section since 2019, and every time I come here I found titanite, so I thought I'd show Greg since he's visiting, and then we'll probably dig around in some other spots in the area. But yeah, that's a good start to the day. A titanite already. Small one, but I know there are bigger ones out there still, so we'll keep looking. So I'm just checking out this tailings pile, kind of discard pile quickly, because the last couple times I've been here and I've done it, I've found a whole bunch of small to medium-sized titanites, and sure enough, most of these are just fragmented chunks, but I found a couple nice small intact ones. And then I've got one here. Let's see if I can get out of the shade. Nope, come on. Right here, sorry. It's the early morning, so the sun is just in the way. But that's a nice little, what I consider a nice little thumbnail specimen of a crystal. Very cool. But you can see it's got that distinct wedge shape with that high luster. That's known for titanite. So that's a cool little find. Still just poking around. You can see Greg up there. Hello, Greg. And I was just down here and I spotted two things. So we got, let's see, I just saw it through the leaf litter. Got this nice little amphibole cluster. It's got some good crystal shape to it. And then just below it, I was moving some of the leaf litter and this nice little titanite rolled out. But got a nice handful of titanites, plus that amphibole cluster now. I think I might, just following this vein, I might actually go below and poke around down here in this tree, because this trees like to, in Titanite Hill, they like to grow beside the veins because their roots will go down into the vein itself. So we're gonna see if that theory holds, and if I dig kind of below along the roots, if I might find some interesting material. So I decided to dig down into there because I've never seen the bottom of this vein dry. As you can see, it is bone dry down there. Every time I've dug here before, it's been muddy at the bottom, which is a blessing and a curse. But since it's so dry, I can reach a lot farther than I usually can. And I pulled out this lovely, shiny cluster of titanites on amphibole. It's a couple titanites stacked on top of each other on the amphibole matrix. So I'm gonna keep poking around, using my long, lanky arms to reach as far as I can and hopefully pull up some stuff that has never seen the light of day. As you can see, some of the trees have already started to lose their leaves, but I believe that's mostly just because of the heat stress, and then all of a sudden cool temperatures. Basically, we got a couple weeks of colder temperatures, and so the combination of those both. Because I think it's a little bit early to get fall leaves up here. I think it's more like mid-September, end of September that starts happening, not, end of August. But we're having pretty good luck. Greg just went down to grab some stuff, but he's found a couple cool things, and I found some cool things. So let me show you some of the stuff I found so far. It's pretty dirty, but through that dirt and mud, you can see that there's some titanite crystals on there. Same with this one. You can actually see the profile of the wedge shape on that one. And these are all kind of like feldspar clusters. That, I believe, is a bit of apatite in the mix. This one, I think, had some titanite on the back, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. And then you can see all the other stuff over there. And then I got a pile of my best finds over there with some titanites. This was one I pulled out recently. Some thin titanite wedges on amphibole matrix. A thin sliver of fractured amphibole matrix. Did find some floater amphibole crystals as well. I think that one's going to be double terminated. But we're getting deeper into the hole. I'm basically like wedging myself in there and reaching as far as I can past all the backfill that's come from downhill, and I'm just trying to get deep down into material that's untouched, because Greg is having some success up top, so I have a feeling that the bottom of this might not actually have ever been dug out and just got reburied with fill from higher up as people were digging out the easier parts of these vein pockets. I've just been pulling handfuls from the bottom, and there's the remnants of the last handful. Oop, I dropped it like an idiot. Dropped a nice little thin titanite crystal. Not bad. Could be a lot bigger, but that's a good sign. The titanites are heavy, so they sink to the bottom. So I'm starting to pull out titanite crystals, free floating titanite crystals at the in the down there. That's a good sign that I'm getting closer to the bottom. So I moved over to another spot that I remember. It's a lot more dug out. That area was the only piece that I remember it being dug out a couple years ago. And I just kind of followed it up. And you can see here's a chunk of weathered calcite that somebody pulled out of, and it's full of weathered apatites. Like, there's a whole bunch. So I went down in there and just kind of felt around, and I could feel packed roots underneath this calcite ledge. And in like the first handful, I pulled out a bunch of apatites. This is the biggest one, and it's a DT. It's a little etched, but that's a good sign. If I dig farther, there might be even better pieces down there. So I have a new spot that I'm gonna start digging in, and we'll see what we can find. Actually, let's maybe try and do a live pull. So we'll stick our hand underneath. The nice thing is I got a nice lanky hand. So, and I can already feel more crystals. There's a small one in the hand. This is kind of hard doing it. There. And there's another chunk of apatite, so we'll see. There's also this DT amphibole just sitting around, so we'll keep digging. Maybe one more handful for you folks. It's kind of hard to do it with one hand while videoing. Well, next handful, look at that. Don't know if it's all there, but that's a good sign. We'll definitely keep more digging. I think that's another partial apatite or something, but that's good. There's a apatite point, so we're doing good. Well, I'd say this hole is doing pretty good. Here's a DT I found. It's a little weather worn, and then here are the rest of my finds. There's a bunch of DTs, single points. We've got some amphibole in the mix as well. So this is a good spot. I'm gonna keep going, and maybe we can pull out a nice big one. I'm pretty sure I've got a bigger crystal in my hand. Oh yeah. She's a bit wonky, She's got some key spots where it would have keyed into some other apatite crystals or other minerals, but she's at least got the 2 terminations. This is turning out to be a pretty good little spot. We'll keep digging and let's see if we can find some more ones. I've got my hand down here and I can feel it already. I think I've got 2 good ones. Let's see. Okay. That's a double terminated. Put that one away. And then, what is this? Oh, this might be cool. This looks like a cluster. Oh, that's cool. Let's see if we can reach down there. Oh, I feel another one. Okay, I think another double terminated by the looks of it. And they're getting bigger. Let's see, maybe we got something else. I feel something small. Anything bigger? Let's just bring out that handful. We got that. Looks like a terminated piece. Yeah, single termination on that. Plus then, a little small termination. But that's good. We'll keep digging down there. That's where I'm pulling them out, and we'll see what we can, if we can get bigger. I've got another, what feels like a double terminated. I think it is. Now that side could be a little bit damaged, but that's another bigger one. It's getting bigger and bigger, so that's good. I'm just going deeper into that crevice. It's a tight fit, but it's obviously working. She's dirty, but I just pulled out this cluster of apatites. You can see this side was facing upwards because this side is where it's most etched. But that's still a pretty fun. It's DT, it's just the one termination super sharp. Almost to a point. Very fun. I like that. That's definitely coming home. So, here's some of the good stuff I've pulled out so far. Some pretty decent sized crystals. I mean, they can get a lot bigger, but I'm pretty happy with just the amount and the size. And then this is the bad stuff. That is still pretty good. In my opinion, those are all either kind of wonkier double terminateds or single terminated points. And I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm gonna try. I've basically dug out as much as I could by reaching in. So I'm gonna try, and the shelf is kind of thinner over here. So I'm gonna see if I can remove more shelf to kind of give myself some more wiggle room so that I can go a little farther. So we'll see if we can do that. If not, I'd say this is a pretty good day of digging. Well, honestly, like 2 hours of digging. And she's treated me quite nicely. Here's something very uncommon for Titanite Hill. You got a boulder of garnet mica schist. You can see the garnets in there. That is pretty cool. Yeah. That's really weird. Like, I was not expecting to see anything like this here. Maybe there's a smaller piece lying around somewhere that I can take back. I'm gonna poke around just around this boulder and see. I'm wondering if this might be just some glacially deposited material and not something from the area, because I've never really heard of anybody finding like a garnet schist in this area. This is just going to be a quick cleanup video. This video's gone long enough, so I thought I'd show you a couple of the specimens, or the better specimens. This one's nice. But these specimens seem to be kind of found in conjunction with some kind of pyrite material. Well, not pyrite anymore, but what happens is if there's pyrite present, you can kind of see it here where it looks a little white and bleached. The pyrite degrades over time and releases like a sulfuric acid as a byproduct, and that etches and bleaches the outsides of the apatites. And there's also iron staining that can occur. So like this one, you can see there's some iron staining, and you can see how kind of etched and melted the specimen is. This one's interesting because it's got some tiny little blobs of like partially crystallized quartz just along here, and then there's a little bit on the tip of it as well, just a little different. I'm not going to show all of the pieces, but at the end you'll see a background of all the specimens I laid out. Those are the nicest ones I found. This one's interesting because you can really see the effects of the pyrite turning into like other like degrading and releasing sulfuric acid, because this whole bottom end is all really etched, but then this top end is still quite smooth. And you can actually see, in fact, there's remnants of the pyrite, like a flattened crystal. And I actually did some scrapings with another specimen that had this type of material. And using my knowledge of Mohs hardness and ceramic scratch plate, this seems to be limonite. So actually this is like a squished pyrite crystal that is pseudomorphed, or well, it's a limonite pseudomorph after a squished pyrite crystal, which is really interesting. And I've got one more piece to show you that has an even better limonite pseudomorph. It's this piece that I pulled out in the video. You can see the apatite is heavily eroded. But then on the top here, we've got a nice little well-shaped crystal of limonite pseudomorph. Let's take a closer look at it. You can see the crystal shape there. It's I believe a limonite pseudomorph after pyrite. There still might even be some pyrite left, who knows. But the other couple samples I tested off of some other pieces of apatite I found with similar structures seem to indicate that it's a most likely a limonite pseudomorph. I think this one might still have some pyrite, and it's just the surface might be turning into limonite, but that is a very cool specimen, very uncommon. Let's just quickly look at these as well. You can see the lovely kind of almost Jolly Rancher green color that these tend to get. And they've got a good luster to the sides that aren't too etched, but all of these, most of these have some sort of etching. Some of these you get lucky, you don't get any of the bleaching, but they all seem to have some sort of etching just due to the proximity to the pyrite in the veins. But this brings us to the end of the video. If you like this type of stuff and you like rockhounding related videos or fossil hunting videos, please consider hitting that subscription button and also hitting the like button. And in the comments below, let me know what you found the most interesting out of this trip, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.